Hi, I'm Star Powell. I'm an Okie stuck in New Mexico, and I work for KD Radio. I've been here 7 years. That's just a short time in my radio career. I've done 38 years in newspaper. I've got 2 years in television, and the rest is in radio. I am what what's on my business card is I'm the vice president of marketing and promotions. I do all the sales. I write all the scripts. I record most of our spots. I do all the community events. We're a 5 radio station, 2 person setup, I could say. Uh, our offices are 125 miles apart, so I drive back and forth every other day, sometimes every day. And I also do the billing. I do payroll. I do commissions. I stay busy. And if you go to, and I can't mention the big boys, but if you go to one of the big boy stations in Albuquerque, they have 117 people that do my job. So I'm pretty proud. We just became, out of 77 radio stations in Albuquerque, we just became number 16. And that's pretty good for us. Our ratings are are fantastic for us. And I'm really thrilled because, like I said, I'm the only one on the street. I'm the only one out there on the street. I do a lot of interviews with our community people. I do all the interviews except political. The owner of our station does the politicals. I stay out of church and state. So my main problem is I say the word so too much, and I know that. I did not take Toastmasters. I probably should have. That's one of the things that I encourage younger people to start out and at least go to Toastmasters for 2 months to figure out what the difference is in the way that you normally speak. I've got one girl at a bank, and all she says is awesome. I don't want to hear awesome 15 times. So I try to make sure that I'm not saying and again before I think of a thought, which I do. And then I have to go back and I have to take it out if it's not alive. If it's recorded, I can go back and insert the right words at the right time. But if I'm live, I have to be very, very careful that I don't go down the wrong road, that I keep busy and I keep everybody on the right track. If I have more than one person in front of me, I have to make sure that only one is talking at a time, because if they both talk on the microphone and I'm still talking, it sounds like a bunch of chickens in a hen coop. So I'm always trying to get one person to answer something that maybe the other person won't know the answer to. And a lot of times that works. Like this morning, I had the Parks and Recreation lady, but I also had the director of the village in. So the director of the village answers her questions, and the Parks and Rec lady was answering questions about the pool opening back up and the classes that are changing and T-ball and stuff like that. So I have to remember T-ball. She talked to me last month about T-ball. That's 3.5 to 5 years old. They have to sign up by the 25th of next month. And then they also have Summer Fun Week, and that is 5 years old to 12 years old. And I have to remember all that from the past times, or I have to have a bunch of notes. And if I have a bunch of notes, I'm going like this. I don't want to hear that on the microphone. And my listeners don't want to hear it either. So I remember tons of stuff. I keep notes typed up in advance, and I tape them down to my board so I have them right there in front of me, because when I'm talking on the board, nobody's looking at me but the person in front of me. It's not like this where you guys are looking at me. Well, I learned to interview because I was thrown into it. It was, this person's coming in and I'm not going to be there, so you're going to need to talk to them. So I said, what do I ask them? Whatever you want to know. And that's what I wanted to know. I wanted to know why they were there, why they were doing what they do. I don't want to know how much they paid for their business. I don't care. I want to know who they want to help with their business. I want to know if it's a church, I want to know, why they're that denomination. I learned from wanting to know for myself. I don't care if you want to know, but I bet there's 10 other people out there like me that want to know the answers that I want to know. So when I went to high school, I wanted to be in speech and debate because I had the big mouth. And our high school owned a radio station. And for us to be able to be in speech and debate, you had to work 4 hours at the radio station every day. Learn to do 50 things outside your daily walk of life that you feel comfortable with. Go to a car dealership and say, I want to shadow one of your salespeople for a day. Go to a plumbing location and say, I may not be a plumber, I may not ever be a plumber, but I want to know what half-inch black pipe is. I want to know what half-inch steel pipe is. I want to know what half-inch PVC is. I want to know the differences, because when I get that customer that is a plumber, I don't want to look like an idiot. I want to know a little bit about their business. I can plumb, I can roof, I can lay concrete, I can run a chopper gun for fiberglass, I can lay up fiberglass. I can do so many things because I learned early on. My dad, last week would have been his 104th birthday, but I lost him 12 years ago. He told me in 1967, learn to do everything you can learn to do, because someday that job will be done by a machine.